grant updates, you know, we've got a few things I think we've got to have just some formal action taken later on. One is when we're building our concession stand and the bathroom building. Some odd years ago, the town adopted the 2009 energy code in new constructions. I'm not well versed on what that means, but the architect suggested, and I checked with Steve Nelson, he agreed that if the town will formally waive that requirement for these two construction projects, it'll save the town a substantial amount of money. The reason Steve thinks that's a good idea is because these are basically unoccupied buildings. There's not people working out of them more than a couple hours a night for a few weeks out of the summer. They're certainly not living in them. I think that energy code requirement has something to do with the amount of insulation or types of insulation or type of building materials that's being used. So yeah, I think I don't know if the park board can do that, if the BMA needs to do that, or if it just kind of comes like a recommendation from the park board to the BMA, but I'm gonna hang around for that meeting just in case they have any questions as well. But I think just to cover all our bases, I'd like to request that you all approve to waive that requirement.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Anybody? Second.
Who's second?
All approved.
Melissa?
All approved, say aye.
Aye.
It's approved, say no. All right.
Okay. In our LPRF grant, we had playground project was the third component besides the concession stand and the bathroom. We solicited proposals. We kind of worked with one specific company to kind of create a concept of a design that we wanted that featured inclusive components. You know, all playgrounds that we would build would be ADA accessible. We wanted things that would be more inclusive, not just accessible. That's just taking it one step further. We in the design that we kind of created intentionally had different components than what we've got in the park already. We wanted some net structures, some climbers, some hoppers. You know, the most of the structure that we currently have is just one structure with a few slides off of it and some monkey bars. I completely steered away from that intentionally. Well, we put it out for proposals because you can't bid. You know, if you were putting a swing set out there, you could bid, because every company's got a swing set they can compare. But once you start getting into different designs and stuff, they take into account play values and what this piece will give you as far as play value versus this piece. So we was very specific in kind of what we were wanting and what we wanted these companies to propose. So we got two proposals submitted. I've given you a picture and little outline of my recommendation. But essentially, my recommendation is we go with the design that we created, that checked all the boxes that we wanted. It's slightly higher, but the other proposal, nice equipment, but they didn't look at our design, what we wanted.
You're saying this is the one that we designed?
That's the one that we designed.
Yeah, I think it's best if it's all
As
age
far as
groups.
It is.
Yeah.
And
If it's any child that needs it, I think a lot is on having a 5-year-old. I mean, he's got a baby, but he's also got the numerous age groups. They can all enjoy it.
He got it all covered.
His wife can swing the baby while his 13-year-old. Yeah, I see something, but it's very well, they did a good job on
I
it.
think so too.
Very different.
The base proposal was substantially higher for that one. But when you looked at it, it included a lot of demolition work that I spoke to the companies and we took the demolition work completely out. And the city will handle all the demo and site prep. And so when you take those components out of their proposals, their cost proposals, there's only about $16,000 difference. And just in playground equipment's expensive.
You're pretty much
for
gonna
what
get
you're
rid of
getting.
most of everything that's a purchase.
The only two things we're really getting rid of, well, three, is the two swing sets, because they are long out of compliance. Those are 15 foot tall. I think the maximum a playground company will sell you now is 10 foot. It might just be 8 foot. So we're gonna take those out and we'll take the sandbox, the sand pit out. The little metal igloo climber thing, you know, that's probably older than I am, but it's solid, functional, and popular. So we'll leave that and kind of incorporate it. But that's the extra 16,000 is clearly, to me, you're getting much more value from that other design, well above the 16,000 extra that it's going to cost. Also needs to be kept in mind that 50% of that's grant funding. Only half of that is actual city funds. So
That's a huge deal.
you're talking extra cost to the city of only $8,000. So in the grand scheme of a $250,000 project, to me, it's worth going a little extra and getting what you want. So
I'll make a motion we go with,
Cunningham.
you got that proposal.
I'll second college proposal.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, say no.
Approval of playground equipment proposal. I'll let Matthew speak on that. You'll do it in your.
this is through the LPRF grant that we've received. It was a 50-50 match, and we went out, requested proposals. We had two submit proposals. One was from a company that we worked closely with to design a playground that was intentionally different than what was located there already. It had a lot of play value that wasn't there, had some inclusive components that the other proposal did not have. So I think in your packet I've got my formal recommendation written out with a lot of reasons of why I prefer the Cunningham Recreation proposal, which is they essentially sell game time equipment, which is the national, to me, standard of playground equipment. They're well known. A lot of the other equipment already in the park is from that same company, but it's just different types of equipment. So to me, it offers much more variety for children of all ages and skill levels and ability levels than the other proposal. And with it is slightly more expensive. But once we take the demolition costs out of both proposals, since the city will be doing all site prep and demo of the existing swing structures and the sand pit, the difference in regards to playground equipment costs is very negligible. And the fact that that difference, only half of that is city funds, the other half is grant funds. I think it's well worth the additional cost to go with the slightly higher Cunningham rec proposal.
Ready?
Yeah, we went over this tonight in the Park and Rec
That was
meeting,
also
and it,
a
yeah.
recommendation of the
Yeah,
park
it was a
board.
recommendation from Park, I mean, enough, so again,
Yeah.
when you lay it out and the pros and cons and the way Matthew explained it, it seems like
$8,100.
Yeah.
On a $250,000 project.
I would make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Those disapproved, no.